gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Well, so much for my big intro from the MC or hype man who isn't fucking here, and any backup hype man that might have introduced me tonight. It's just me now. So, now there's children. Hi! Hi, kids. I know those kids.
Are they your kids?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
You have like a dozen.
Yeah, but neither one of those kids look like me.
Are you sure? Or you just don't
I'm
want
pretty
to
sure.
glasses?
I'm pretty sure. So, thank you for coming to my highly successful single-stall comedy show. Yeah, okay, thanks. Hey, that even picked up, so that's good. That'll make people that listen to this later and feel sorry for me think, hey, there were actual people there. And because this is free and a lot of people that know you don't know you're here, it doesn't matter if it sucks. That's the thing about tonight is, okay, it's either going to go really well or it's going to go like a helicopter ride with Kobe Bryant. Or if you don't like that reference, it'll go like a shower with Jerry Sandusky. Yeah. Because I'm not going to shit you. You all know me very well, except for Paula. You kind of know me, right? You've met me twice. So everybody knows me enough that there's the shock value that's worn off from what I'm going to say. So it's like, how do you cull laughs from people that are used to what's coming out of my mouth? It's like being the doctor that sees a chronic hypochondriac. It's like, I think I got this going on right now. Can you look at that? But you're fucking fine. Shut up. Go home. So I was nervous like all day. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? I'm trying to read my notes. I wrote 10 minutes on COVID shit like a weekend ago, and I was all excited. Then I'm like, I'm never going to remember all these fine fucking points. And I was just like shitting bricks this morning. Nervous like a fucking altar boy at the Vatican on the Pope's birthday. Body of Christ. Oh, and then you get that Vegas nerve.
Yeah. All too well.
All too well. So I'll tell some jokes, and hopefully you'll laugh. And then we'll have cake. I bought a cake because it's a birthday party, right? We're here celebrating my 40th birthday. I also bought a blank cake because this could go either way. It's either going to say, hey, good job, or wow, you suck. Either way, 10 letters. Really? Don't make me ask you to leave, madam. We're not doing audience participation, or I'm just going to get vicious. Here's my pocket notes to myself. I think we're through the intro portion. Well, we started late because we were waiting on a guy from work who always fucking shows up late to work. So consistency is key, right? He's still doing things his own way. He might show up. I don't know. And if he does stumble in, there might be a cloud of weed smoke around him. Don't be surprised.
He's my kind of guy.
Obviously, I didn't just open this up to strangers because they were like, what the fuck is this? The fucking Jehovah's Witness meeting in a garage?
I mean, people driving by might wonder.
I don't know. It's just a bunch of people in a garage and a guy with a microphone with a shaved head. So I don't think they'll get the wrong idea at all. How do you feel about Jesus Christ? How much do you hate the mud people? Rude. So obviously you're all friends of mine or friends adjacent. And I want to just point out in the front row, this man here, Jake. And the fact that he walked up the driveway on his own power is a big fucking deal. Because how many months ago did that happen?
February 28th.
Okay, so math.
4.5.
4.5, 5 months ago, he tried to commit suicide on skis and failed miserably.
Nice way to go. I bet it's a good story.
Way to fail.
What were you fucking doing?
Taking a dive.
I was going through a beginner's snowcross course.
Moguls?
Making turns and jumps and rollers. So I assumed I was going over a long roller. So I hit it with some good speed. And it ended up being a set of two shorter jumps. So I left the first one and faced the second one.
Oops.
And legs went out. Obviously, my knee
Didn't go with it.
totally disconnected. I tore my MCL, LCL, ACL, and PCL. Hit my tailbone on the face of the second jump. Broke my L3, 4, and 5 on my back. Broke my right elbow and my left wrist all at the same time.
So he's basically like the fucking bionic man.
Yeah.
So you're all sorts of pins and needles now,
No, he's got no hardware inside him,
I've
he
got
said.
no hardware.
But you've got
None. Cadaver parts.
cadaver parts.
That's
I
fucking
have,
cool.
I have 3 cadaver ligaments in my knee right now.
Do you just have like weird dreams of dead people's lives that you don't know because it's like quantum leap but in your knee?
I had some weird dreams when I was on Oxy, but I don't think that was connected.
Okay. Probably not.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rick James is here because I wouldn't be doing this if the Nightwing to my Batman couldn't flank me. And Neil took time out of his busy online poker playing schedule to be here also.
I don't contribute at all other than just someone to throw your jokes at for you on the phone.
There's-
Hopefully some of them are being used.
Hopefully. Neil gave me a joke to use. Just because he says it fits the times more. And it goes, your mama's so fat, she can't even see her own dick.
Well done.
Boy, that fucking killed.
Canceled already.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
Those kids are still listening.
I don't give a shit. That's fine. That's
They're
fine.
yours. It's fine.
They're not mine. This is a live recording of a comedy show, and the girls are not here. They'll be back on Monday. So obviously, this has always been a dream of mine, to stand in front of people and make them happy. I will say that I've never done drugs, right? Everybody knows that about me. But when I get a crowd going, when I get a room going, I imagine that's what it feels like to be high. And it gives me the tickles in my soul. So we're doing this because only like since I was 10, people are like, you're funny, you should be a comedian. And back then, I didn't have the chops I do now. I would just say whatever the fuck I wanted. If it sounded really risque or retarded, it just fucking come out. And they'd still keep encouraging me. So this is what happens when you tell somebody with poor taste and no barometer for propriety, keep going. And then because of cancel culture, we're not in a club right now. We're in a garage in the suburbs. So this happens. I haven't seen a great many of you in years, physically in person. Most of this side of the room. Years. Why? COVID. And we're all sick of hearing about that, right? Well, too bad. I'm going to fucking talk about it. For important reasons. Like, I don't know if any of you lost somebody to COVID. Someone close to you, like, died from that shit. Show of hands.
Nope.
Who died?
A bunch of people. I'm a nurse, that's why.
Oh, that doesn't count. That was work.
They were closer.
Not like your cousin or your mom. Okay.
One coworker.
Well, that was the thing. It was supposed to fucking kill so many people. And it didn't kill enough people. Because traffic still sucks. And going to the store still fucking sucks on a Friday.
Traffic did get better.
For a while it did while we were working from home. Yeah, but I'm like not a single Kardashian. Not LeBron James. Not Donald Trump. Well, I did not lose anybody from COVID, unfortunately. I think you know who I might be talking about. It's actually 2 people. The first, obviously, who am I going to say?
Your mom.
Okay, no, that's actually second.
Oh.
The Beast. The Beast, who most of you know is my terrible, horrible, very bad, no good ex, who for the past 2 years and change has been on drugs, and CPS took the kids away from her, so they've been here, which put immense strain on every aspect of my life. And there were a few times where she was like, I don't want to freak you out, but I think I might have COVID. And I'm like, yes! No, what happened? Oh my God. You know. So when she got it, I was fucking elated. Just elated. I'm like, okay, let's think here. What are the odds this takes a fucking turn? And she gets like super serious sick. This is before I spent $30,000 on the custody case that I did just to get the girls full time recently. So before I even had that much skin in the game, I was already like, come on, praying to the fucking Corona gods that she would go into a coma of some sorts. And she'd be like in the isolation unit. And her mom's not emotionally strong enough to fucking make any hard decisions. But you know, I'd be waiting for my fucking phone to ring. Like, oh my God. Her kidneys are shutting down? Yes. What? No, that's terrible. When do you want me to come pull the plug? Oh, we're not there yet? Okay. Because her mom would not be emotionally strong enough to do that shit. But I would be like in the waiting room. Even though they don't let you on the floor, I'd still be there. Crossing my fingers, crossing my toes, hoping to fucking God she takes a turn. Knowing the girls are going to cry and I'm going to have to hide my smiles. And then inevitably, I just dreamt this hypothetical scenario where they're like, she's not going to make it and we're going to have to elect to end life support. You don't have to fucking tell me twice. It's like Adrian Peterson, he's loose! And I'm fucking juking left and spinning right and diving into the room and unplugging every goddamn appliance. I don't even know what it is, even the TV, I don't care. Just so that she could go that much quicker and I could give her back to God. And then go home and listen to Kool and the Gang's Celebration on loop for 24 hours straight. Now, I have to say this. Unless you know the backstory, I sound like a terrible human being for wishing death upon the mother of two of my children. However, after 12 years and this much stress and all the fighting with someone that did drugs so much as a teen, they're basically locked in that level of psychosocial development. It's like dealing with a fucking 14-year-old all the time. It's miserable. Why don't we just do joint custody? Fuck you, no. Why not? 'Cause no. I don't want to do that. Nothing that fucking makes sense. Almost like a toddler at times. But I will say this. I talked to Rick on the phone today. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that part of the bit. Why not? Because we're getting along, and she's on the wagon and off of meth, and she's been doing good for a couple months. And I'm trying to be encouraging because it helps the overall situation. It's such a mind fuck when someone that's ruined your life and stressed you out that much is suddenly like you're getting along with them and your friends. Like, hey, we only have to do this for 11 more years, right? So it's like, God, do I bash her? I even fucking told her. I invited her to this thing. She's like, why? So you can talk about me and make fun of me in my face? I'm like, no, that's the thing. I haven't had a hateful thing to say about you in weeks. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. So imagine like World War II ended the same way, except Hitler didn't die in the bunker. And then he decided, I'm going to get into dealing with parentless Jewish orphans and helping them acclimate to their new lives. Like, they just turn over a new leaf and you're like, what the fuck? Like, there's a glitch in the Matrix and nothing makes sense anymore. And that's how it's been, really. Let me just move this for you, Sideshow Bob. I don't want you stepping on the rake again. Fuck. So it's really bizarre. And I don't know, is that part of the emotional maturity that comes with me being 40 here in a few fucking days? Just, I'm done fighting with it? How do you feel? You're a Holocaust survivor.
It's
which is the nickname for his baby mama that also sucks.
It's tough.
It's
exhausting.
Fucking hard. You would think that being that much of a cunt all the time would just be so exhausting. But apparently not. I've said many times to people at my current job, it's like, dude, she is like the Michael Jordan of bitch baby mamas. Even if she's got the flu, she's fucking dropping 45 and winning the game. It's fucking nuts. And then, well, the beast had COVID. As fate would have it, I got a phone call from my dad, who told me, your mom thinks she has COVID. And I'm like, hold on, I think I just came. Fucking what's going on? No, I didn't say that to him. He wouldn't even know what that means, that straight-laced, boring motherfucker. I guarantee my dad's only had missionary sex forever. And that's not just because my mom's the size of a fucking beanbag. So he tells me how she's feeling, and she was getting kind of serious. Not like go to the hospital serious, but she felt just miserable and could barely move. Which, considering she has the energy level of a fucking sloth at the zoo normally and lives a primarily sedentary lifestyle, I was like, what does that even equate to? Okay, because this is a woman that over the years at one point worked like overnights at Target. And had to wear jeans to work. Not because they made her, because she chose to. And she doesn't have a body that's made for jeans. Okay, and this was 1998. So they're all like flare leg and shit, and she's built like a goddamn weeble wobble. I shit you not, one time my mom had to lay on the bed, and she called me up there to help her button the jeans, because instead of buying a bigger size of pants, she had to pour her fat, gelatinous ass into these goddamn things to the point that if she would have farted too hard, she would have blown a pocket out. And when she got COVID, she was 72. She's morbidly obese. She's 4'11". She weighs 300 pounds, I'm guessing. That might be a conservative estimate. Because she was so fat at my wedding that gravity gave up and she tipped over. She didn't faint. Just like, wham! Just fucking 90-degree turn to the ground. And her ass hit the grass. And then she spent the next 90 minutes telling me she didn't want people to make a big deal out of it, but just so we would know she fell down. Which is Linda code for, oh my God, ask me how I am because I crave attention on your day. And he's telling me this shit, and I called Rick James, and I'm like, you're not going to believe this shit. And I'm like, dude, the Beast thinks she has COVID. And my mom also has COVID. And he's like, so how are you feeling right now? I'm like, could I get this lucky? Like, do I need to go fucking buy a lottery ticket? This is almost like a sign. And it was for like a few days. And then she started getting better, which is really disappointing. Because it's like, come on, they said this shit was going to be super bad for old people, people with breathing issues, super fat. And, like, I'm not even joking. She will do, like, 3 loads of laundry a week and spend close to 28 hours, I bet you, watching TV. And that ass dent in the couch has, like, spread like a bad rash. It used to be one cushion in the corner, and now she's got her left cheek on the cushion and her right cheek on the one next to it. Yeah, and that's all she does all day is sit there. And on top of it, she's got this growth in her throat that they will not operate on. They're like, oh, it's not bad enough. It's not affecting your daily quality of life. This thing's big enough that she's always like, this is basic breathing for her. Like a fucking stray dog that just spent all day in the hot sun running from animal control and has not had a drink of water. She just fucking wheezes and gags and coughs and clears her throat. And I just want to take a pillow and put her out of her fucking misery. And it's big enough that it bothers her, but not big enough to operate or unfortunately cut off her oxygen supply in her sleep and make it seem like a natural death I wasn't praying for. But yeah, both of them at the same fucking time, like the worst people in my life, and I'm standing outside, and I'm not a religious person, so I wasn't like, dear God, I know we don't have the greatest relationship, but if you could just do me this one fucking favor. I know it seems terrible to ask for people to die, but it's not even like child rapists this time. It's Linda and the Beast. And I got no answer. And what did I fucking say? He was going to show up late, motherfucker. Did he fucking Uber here?
Tell him 8 o'clock.
I told him 7 o'clock. It is 7:47. Did you fucking take an Uber? Am I going to have to drive your ass home? Okay, well, I already told everybody that you kind of show up like 10 minutes late to work a lot, so it would just be fitting if you showed up.
Because you're a big fucking stoner. And a
Round of applause for Andre. So yeah, like, I thought things were going to take a turn and they were both going to die. This is my ex and my mom, by the way, because you missed the whole preface to this. And at one point I was outside, like, wishing on every fucking constellation I could figure out what it was, like Pinocchio, while Jiminy Cricket's in the back of my head singing fucking death hymns of When You Wish Upon a Star, like the dark gothic version. But they didn't croak, which is unfortunate. So now I still have to wait around and see how long it takes my mom, who has outlived what doctors probably would have assumed would be her lifespan, and wait for her to be like 99 and still ruining my life. So that's only 26 more years. I'll be retirement age when she finally keels over and I get to throw her body and all of her shit in a dumpster at the rest home. Right? Which the other day she brought this up. for some reason, the girls were worried that she was going to have her funeral in a church and that I wouldn't let them go because it's in a church. And instead of saying something that would make sense, like, no, your dad wouldn't stop you from coming to my funeral, which would have been the response I would expect out of her. She's like, he wouldn't dare, and I will make sure you are there if he does it. Like, no fucking faith that I'm not going to keep the kids from showing up. You're dead and in a box. You don't know whether they're there or not. I could send 2 random kids that walk by the house to the fucking funeral and say, all right, I will give you guys each $10 and a bag of M&Ms to fucking cry or pretend to for like 5 minutes and then leave. Just for show, if you would, please. Yeah, and she's all fucking upset. And here's what I want to know about this. And this is great because I didn't even plan on talking about this. But it's fucking hilarious when I had these thoughts. When she said that to me at her house the other day. It's like, okay, so, Dad's 6 years younger than you, but women outlive men. So either you're going to die around the same time, or like I said, she's going to be like fucking Emotep from The Mummy and just never go. And who the fuck is going to organize this? Your daughter's dead, and she was mentally retarded anyway, so what, is she going to push her own wheelchair down the aisle? I don't think so. So unless she's haunting your fucking funeral, your sister's probably going to be dead, because she's older than you. Dad's going to be dead, and most people I know can't fucking stand you. So who's going to come to this event? We could do it in a garage with a fridge box while I talk into a microphone plugged into a bass amp, and I fucking record that shit like I'm doing right now, and no one would be any the wiser. Cars that drive by go, oh, I wonder what's going on there. Which, Andre, until you showed up, I made several cracks about people thinking this was possibly a white supremacist summit due to the all-Caucasian crowd and my haircut. So I don't want to keep calling you out for being the only black guy here.
I'm Puerto Rican.
No, you're not.
I know.
Remember when I said that he'd probably show up high as balls? You a little
High
bit?
five, homie.
Little bit.
Not as balls, but I'm there. I'm almost there.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Did you share some of the ganj with the Uber driver?
Was it a lame one or?
Yeah, he was telling me about politics. And
Oh,
it was
no.
just,
Oh.
Where was your Uber driver from, if I may ask?
possibly like Africa.
Possibly Africa?
Possibly. Or India.
What? How the fuck do you not know Africa or India?
Well, I don't know. I didn't get a good look at his face, okay?
Okay, well, did he sound like this? Or did he sound like he was the Prince of
It was a
Zamunda?
mix of both. That's what I'm getting so like lost at here.
Like his
What if
fucking
he
accent
a
was
mixed
in and out?
breed?
That's what I'm thinking. He was a mixed breed.
Okay.
So I'm
We
thinking
all
a mixed
live in a
answer.
box, right?
I think you're supposed to say multicultural now, not mixed breed. He's not like a fucking show dog.
Shut up, aren't we all?
Kinda.
I don't know. I call them mocha babies, but that's just me. I don't give a fuck if it's racist. I know I'm gummy bear racist, though. I found that out yesterday because I only like the white ones.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think they all taste the same.
They don't.
This
They
is
don't.
a KKK meeting. I'm out.
This didn't start out.
Surprise! Gotcha!
Just kidding.
Everything got really quiet when my one black friend showed up, and he's like, "Why is everybody putting on pajamas, all of us? What the fuck?" No. You asked me what I'm doing for work lately.
I did.
You did. Okay, so obviously I got out of working in the jail because they wanted to get rid of me,
Oh.
and they paid me to go away because I knew things. Like a Vietnam vet, like, I've seen some things, man. I don't recommend it. And then obviously I was a social worker for 2.5 years, but COVID fucking ruined that shit. So now I work in a warehouse with that guy right there.
Andre.
What kind of warehouse?
Right, a medical supply. So we go in every day and we take boxes off of shelves and put them on pallets to ship them to other places where they will take those pallets and pick the boxes up and put them on their shelves. Fucking exciting stuff. And after all the stressful jobs that I've had, I'd say it's like right in my wheelhouse because it ends at the end of the day and nobody there is trying to get me fired for being white and having a penis. Like at the youth psychiatric hospital I worked at for most of last year, or half of last year. when you have to wrestle with kids that are having mental health crises and they're like around the same age as your own kids. But where I'm at in life now, like I need a chill job and I don't care if it's shitty pay. And if I leave at the end of the day a little achy, that's fine. That's fine because I don't go home and feel like I want to cut on myself to get the poison out. Because had I stayed at that hospital or if I was still at the jail or a social worker, my forearms would look like your husband's knee. Just a patchwork of scars.
Not good.
Just tiny little slits to get all the stress out.
These aren't tiny little slits.
I see that. Those are some
These would be life-ending, for sure, slits.
fucking Jesus Christ. 2 of those things look like vaginas. Like scar tissue sewn
Here's
shut.
another one here.
Is there another one?
Yeah, right there. Right here.
I like that you've got the Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace on.
God, you're right. I didn't even...
Yeah.
That
Well,
connection.
you did say he's the Bionic Man, so.
Yeah, well, Steve Austin. But yeah, so working in a warehouse, it's nice because it doesn't fuck with my kid's schedule. And I can mostly be me. Warehouse people. It's like a certain crowd. If you work in a warehouse, you suck at life a little bit, but you have a high tolerance for bullshit. Most of them do enjoy a good adult beverage, possibly to excess. I'm not sure how many of them ride their bikes to work because they like exercise or because they have too many DUIs.
Oh, I hear you, man.
The wooder.
I've been there.
Yeah, and I know it's my scene. But with the fact that I'm 40 means I should probably start like going to the doctor more. I got to start worrying about my body fucking falling apart. Like I went for a physical in December.
All good in the hood.
My doctor is a short Chinese man. That's neither here nor there, but I want you to be able to picture him for contextual detail. And he talks really quiet, and he has a thick accent, and he goes, "Oh, how are you doing? It's good to see you." He come and shake your hand. It's like we're in the fucking confessional at church, and he's trying to ever so quietly tell me how many Hail Marys for all the 10,000s of times I've masturbated in the last 30 years. And he sits me on the fucking thing, and he's like, "Okay, well, I leave the room, and then you can take off your clothes, and then you sit down." So I'm down to my skivvies, and I'm sitting on the fucking thing. And I've had a physical for a while. But I know at some point, he's probably going to have to try to feel me up down there. So I'm trying to not psych myself out. Because somebody in this room once got a physical from a female doctor and sported wood in their face. Allegedly.
Better times back then.
Yeah. Right? And I'm like, I swear to God, if this little Asian man touches my pee-pee and it stands at attention, that's going to be so fucked up. Because he's like, "Oh, you enjoy this? You have a good time?" I'm really not. I wish you wouldn't look me in the eyes when you fucking asked me that, you son of a bitch. Oh, damn it. And so here's how the exam went. He's having me test my range of motion. I'm moving all of my limbs because he wants to see how fucking ambulatory I am. You know, something that you appreciate a lot more now, I'm sure, after the accident, right?
Yeah, they still haven't done that with me. You must be on another echelon of age.
Well, I also didn't try to fucking pull a Sonny Bono like you did, but... So back to the Asian doctor feeling up my tits. He starts patting me like this, right? And he's flat-handing it like, I don't know what he's doing. He's patting me, and he just keeps going up and down on my chest, on my pecs, and he goes down on my abs, and he looks at me, and I'm like, why is he looking at me? What the fuck is he about to do? And he goes back up, and he's feeling the chest, and he's fucking asking me questions about, "Oh, do you smoke? Or do you drink? How often do you exercise?" And I'm like, what the fuck kind of foreplay is this shit? 3 fucking times he went back to my pecs. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to touch my dick, get it over with. I didn't. Because once upon a time ago, I had a doctor, and he asked me if I was sexually active. And I'm like, no. He's like, no homosexual anything? I'm like, no. And I left that visit like, what the fuck just happened? Why is he asking me if I fuck with dudes? I'm not wearing a pink shirt. I don't talk like that. And at no time did I like rub his shoulder and be like, "You're really good at your job. You make me feel so comfortable. I want you to know that." 6 months later, he got fucking fired because he was doing that to every teenage boy that came into his goddamn office. That motherfucker was trolling for teenage boy dick. Right, so back to the Asian doctor feeling my tits again. And he's doing that, and I shit you not, I had this weird moment of clarity where I'm like, is this what it's like for women the first time we touch their boobs? Where it's awkward and you don't know how to caress the side, you just honk like you're at fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
Wax
Yeah.
on, wax off.
Right.
Doesn't work.
Fucking Miyagi style. You're like, okay, so I'm gonna go like, you rub up and down. I don't get what he was going for, but suddenly I'm like, God, this is what all of my daughters are gonna fucking go through in a few years. Why are men so bad at this? Like, why couldn't somebody just tell us? Like, why do we have to have a guy come talk to us in sex ed about how to put on condoms and about penis crust and things like that? And why couldn't it just be a lady that's like, I know I'm supposed to tell you how a zygote forms, but today, boys, we're going to tell you how to lick an areola like you mean it. So, like, we go round the clock like Happy Days. All right, I'm like the Fonz on that shit. And then I put my clothes on and I left. And he never checked my sack. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of felt used. And like I missed out. Like, why wasn't I good enough? You know, it's just like when I was a Catholic altar boy and nobody tried to touch me inappropriately. Well, I think that ball cancer is more prevalent in men than breast cancer, but if that's what he was going for. Weird sidebar. So that was the 39-year checkup with the doctor, which it used to be 40 is a pretty important one, right? Because what do they do to us? What do they want to check? Our oil. And you hear about it for years, and you psych yourself up, and you're like, what the fuck is this going to be like? Because I won't lie to you. Once upon a time ago, I asked my wife to put her finger in my ass, because I'm like, I got to see if she can hit the dirty walnut up there and see if it feels nice, because I hear things.
Hear things up in there?
I hear that good things happen if you know where you're going up in there, right? But long story short, nothing happened. And we ended up laughing because she's like, I don't know, do you feel anything? I'm like, no. And then we used her phone to fucking watch a YouTube video that explained what to do. And the mood instantly died the second that the automated computer voice is like, make sure to trim your nails before attempting this, as you do not want to give your lover an anal fissure. Yeah. And also, and I wrote a song about this. When I was 8 years old, I stuck my finger up my ass in the bathtub because I wanted to know if it would fit. And it did. It did. It didn't really excite me. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, that's a thing. And just in case you're wondering, second knuckle deep.
Nice.
I was exploring my body. Children do that. I've been told it's healthy. And that's why you shouldn't leave your kids alone in the bathtub. So we're staring down this long corridor of doom that is getting the prostate check. And I know my doctor, right? I'm relatively comfortable with him. I know what his demeanor is going to be like. I don't assume he's going to be like, time to finger your butt. Get ready. On all fours, bitch. Let's do this. Like, he's not going to be like fucking Ken Jeong in The Hangover. He's going to be really gentle, and he's going to, okay, so now I'm going to put on a glove, and I'm going to lube up my finger. You might feel a little awkward, a little pinch, and it go in. And I'm just thinking to myself, now, other people have tried to ring my doorbell, and it hasn't worked. This guy's been trained to know where to go. And I don't know about you, but the prospect of having a sexual epiphany in a fucking doctor's office seems really awkward to me. You know, like, you're already supposed to be on all fours. So I'm bent over. He's staring me in the fucking brown eye. He's inside of me, which only a handful of people can say they've done before. And he's going to be rooting around in there. And what if it feels good? I don't want to be like, yeah, don't stop him to come. And he'll be like, oh my God, why you say that? Like, I don't want to offend the man. But also, it's like, should I just pretend just to fuck with him? Because if you're going to get finger banged and you don't really want to, you should at least be able to set the mood and tell a few jokes to leave there feeling like, okay, this was 50-50. It wasn't like, you know, American Medical Association sanctioned digital penetration. But then I'm also nervous. I'm like, fuck, how old is he anyway? Like, is he close to retiring? Because I don't want to be like, oh, your general practitioner retired. And the first time I meet my new doctor, he's going up my dirty door. That's going to be really awkward. Like, tell me about yourself. Be like, you know what? No. You know what? I've been waiting all day. I psyched myself out. I promised myself that I'm not going to cry. I'll try not to giggle if it feels nice, but just fucking do it, all right? Like the wife that hates her husband but doesn't have the means of leaving, like financially or a support system of family members, so she just stays and gives him the occasional bent over the bed pity fuck. Yeah, just stick it in, all right? Let's get this over with. So I got that to look forward to. My chest hairs are not turning gray. They're turning white. I apparently skipped that step. I want to blame the beast for putting my stress levels to the point where my blood type is cortisol. Well, my beard's turning white, and there's nothing better than, meeting somebody younger for the first time. And you can tell they're like fucking looking at it, trying to gauge how old I am. Because I don't look my age in my face. But the salt and pepper is kind of a dead giveaway. Because I'm at that age now where old people start to take me seriously, but all young people think I'm a fucking narc. Especially with this haircut. Like when I worked at the hospital, it was all Gen Zers. And I fucking hate those cunts. They are such spiteful, self-absorbed, intolerant cunts. Andre, I'm not talking about you. I will say, he's half my age, right? Right? But we couldn't be more polar opposite in our lives. But we fucking are thick as thieves. He's one of the dudes I'm closest to. So then obviously with being this age, that's all I am now as a dad. Nobody looks at us at this age. I mean, our wives and girlfriends look at us. And I'm not saying I go out and I want like younger girls to be like, hi, how are you? But it's like, it feels nice to be wanted. So just occasionally, if a younger cashier at Target would ask me if I work out, that would boost my self-confidence. And I would say, I do. Thank you for asking. But yeah, it's just dad stuff now. And my kids aren't all little. Like the Juice is right there on the doorstep waiting for her period to come like any fucking day. She's going to turn 12 in a few months, and she's super excited. She's had a puberty book for 3 fucking years. And I'm like, dude, it's not that fun. You're going to be crampy. You're going to grow hair that you're going to want to get rid of. You're going to feel bloated. And I don't know if anybody else has experienced what this is like, but I want you to picture eating Sunday morning breakfast, and your daughter says, that's not mine, that my wrapper you found on the floor. Well, because it's a pad wrapper, isn't it yours? Like, well, yeah, but I use 3 pads. Why? Well, because I had so much discharge. Ah, fuck. Yeah, she talks about her discharge. I'm like, dude, don't do that shit. You're going to go to school and say it to the wrong person. And that's going to be your fucking nickname for the next 7 years. You're going to start 6th grade and talk about all the goddamn pussy cookies that are falling out of your panties. And everyone's going to be like, I think she's autistic, but this is just too good. Put that shit on TikTok. Which is all she wants to watch now. We used to watch like Disney afternoon shows because they'll still fucking jam. And now she wants no part of that. She just wants to watch stupid people do stupid shit for stupid reasons on fucking TikTok. The other one, she's 9. Chi-Chi's 9. She hates her nickname, by the way. I called her Chi-Chi since she was born. She's like, I hate that name. I'm like, I don't like it. It sounds mean. I'm like, it's not. You're just a little Chi-Chi when you were born. You were a peanut. She's 9 going on 19. She is such a fucking Regina George.
Yeah.
See? The women in the room got that Mean Girls reference. Rick, what the fuck? So she's a bitch. Like a royal bitch. And here's where things got very meta recently. Is I was at the carnival for 4th of July with the girls and the Beast and her other kid. And the Beast says to me, he's like, why is our daughter kind of a bitch? I'm like, kind of? I don't know if you realize this, but she's like stuck in cunt mode like the fucking transmission's broken. And it's all day, every day. Get off your phone. Why are you doing this? I'm bored. Fuck you! Keep it up. See what fucking happens. I already have unresolved anger issues from childhood trauma. I will go full on Casey Anthony. They will find your fucking body in a suitcase buried in a shallow grave in the backyard. And the beast goes, why is she like that? I'm like, looking at her like, really? I'm like, it's genetic. I'm not like that. Am I? I'm like, yes, you are. You're an emotional terrorist, which is a term that Joey Black introduced me to. Thank you very much, sir, for giving me that. She is. She fucking is. She is the Osama bin Laden of my emotions. And it's all day long, planes are flying into my feels. But now I've got the mini version of the beast. And she wants to be a cheerleader. And that was kind of depressing, because it's like, you know what you could do instead of being a useless twat in a shiny uniform shouting things at people who play sports is fucking play sports and then accomplish something of your own. No, she kind of wants to try soccer, but if it's like everything else, it's going to get hard, she's going to get bored, she's going to quit, she's going to cry. Like I put her in some local cheerleading thing, and she promised me if I pay it all up front, she'll fucking go. The first week, she was not having a good time for the first half hour. The second week, I had to coax her to go. The third week, the beast had to coax her to go. And the fourth week, she wouldn't get out of the car. And I'm like, fuck it, you quit. And I went inside and I signed her name in for attendance and wrote, says she quits, call dad. And then 4 months later, I finally got my refund because Cheer America sucks. And apparently only one guy answers the phone there. And he checks the voicemail messages once every fucking equinox. I don't know. It's retarded. Which brings me to my little bug, and she's 5, and she's adorable, and she's a little blonde ball of fire, but she's also probably going to be a serial killer, we think. Because she's like, her facial expression's like, yeah, and she has these fucking like wild mood swings. I mean 0 to fucking angry hate cries. It happened today. They were fighting over blocks, and she's like, stop touching it! I don't like you! And then she storms off. I'm like, okay, well, thankfully she didn't hit him in the fucking face this time. That girl is going to kill at least 2 of her boyfriends. And I'm probably going to help hide the bodies. Because if she goes to prison, she's going to be in solitary for decades for consistently shanking all the other broads there. Someone's going to go, oh, fresh meat, shank, 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 shank. They're not going to know how she got a pencil. She just fucking showed up. 72 stab wounds in some bitch's face. And she'll scream things at you that don't make sense for a kid her age. Like, you're rude and ridiculous. I'm not talking to you ever again. I only want to be at mommy's. We'll see what happens when I give you a donut later. The most recent fucked up thing she did was tell me that she knows how to wipe herself. And for anybody that's got daughters, first time they think they figure that out, you know they don't. They don't go the right fucking direction. The Juice didn't. Chi-Chi didn't. You gotta teach them front to back. It's not like a fucking Frito scoop and a bowl of chili dip where you just fucking smear that up your pussy. That's not how that shit's supposed to work. You don't leave the bathroom looking like you've dumped a snack pack in your lap. But that's where she's at, and she's going to start kindergarten soon, so she'll learn her ABCs and hopefully stop giving herself UTIs. Which then leaves me with the boy, who turns 3 next week. And like I was fine being awash in a sea of estrogen forever. And then he happened, and everyone's like, oh, you got your buddy for life, right? Here's something that only one person in this room prepared me for. Is like, just so you know, he's going to touch himself all the time. He told me he was going to, like, just constantly be pulling on that thing and gravitating towards it. And he went through a period where he wouldn't let that thing fucking go because he was afraid that it was going to run away. Like a kid that catches a goddamn toad and doesn't want to just, like, set it back free into the wild. I mean, all the time. And he's fucking kneading it in his fingers like it's silly putty. And I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to fucking work. I don't want him to say penis because it's going to sound hilarious. And he's going to ask why I'm laughing at him all the time. So he says, wiener. But he can't say ours. So it's like, winner. We're in the car one day. He's like, Dad, you have a winner. I'm like, there's something wrong with my window? He's like, no, you have a winner. I'm like, I'm a winner? What? And I'm like, baby, what is your brother saying? He's like, he's saying you have a wiener. Oh, that is correct. And he's awfully proud of it now. Like, he's done with the touching it stage mostly. Now he's into talking about it and apparently trying to put it on things. Because, I shit you not, he takes his diaper off and before he's in the bathtub, he's standing there with his hands on his hip. And he's just proud with it out there. And then he does this. He's like, huh. He thrusts it forward and he just kind of points it and looks around the room to see who is gazing upon his cock. Almost like he's like, bow before my penis. And then other times, like last week, I took him to the fucking splash pad and there's the change stall, right? I took off his swimmy diaper. And you know what he fucking did? He sauntered up to the bench and he got on his tippy toes and he parked his fucking dick, not his whole junk with his balls, just his dick on the shelf. Like to see if it would fucking reach. In the bathtub the other night, he's standing up and the juice goes in there to get her hairbrush. She's like, stop touching your wiener. He's like, I have a big winner. It's the biggest winner. And I was in the other bathroom on the opposite side of the wall with adjoining vents, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not, and you better hope that thing has a fucking growth spurt, or you're going to have to get real humble real quick, bud, because the women are going to point and laugh. It's like a fucking pink jelly bean sticking out of a miniaturized, midget-sized fucking Chinese finger trap. It's so tiny, and it's just like, thank God he hasn't seen mine. Not that I'm bragging about it. It's like slightly above average, but still, I don't want to be like, Dad, you have a big winner. Like, don't fucking talk about that, or we're going to be at Target one day in the produce section, and the wrong person's going to hear you talk about my wiener, and I'm going to have a lot of questions to answer downtown. And they're not going to believe me, because I'm going to apparently be like Kramer from Seinfeld, way too anime, like, I didn't fucking touch his cock! And I don't just show him mine either. But he's just wiener obsessed. And the last thing he said recently that really took me by surprise, and it's like he was testing me, and he was super fucking serious. Like, he got up my face like, Dad, girls have a winner. I'm like, no. He's like, no. Girls have ginas. I'm like, yup. He's like, you have a winner. Boys have big winners. I'm like, yep, but we don't talk about it, okay? And that's him. And having a son has taught me two things. We're dick-centric, which you all accuse us of.
Yeah, just true.
And we're all really fucking stupid. Because I don't know how many times that kid has turned around to look at the TV and fallen off the kitchen chair. Like, you sit in the same spot, and you have all four limbs. You're not like a third world bomb victim from Syria that came here and didn't have an arm, and you got to learn how to, acclimate to life with 3 appendages. He just fucking falls down. He bumps into shit. I gave him some dark chocolate Oreos. He ended up with a fucking Hitler mustache.
Perfect.
And it was up his nostrils. I'm like, how the fuck do you even do that? Who taught you how to eat an Oreo? Artie Lang? I'm glad that one person got that reference.
And of course it was him.
Fuck. And I have to admit, I also have pointed my dick at people. I've tried to put it on things to get a laugh. It's like, wow, he's either ahead of the curve or I am a stupid piece of shit. And if I'm playing the averages, ouch, take that self-esteem. So I guess I'll just wrap this up with a story. That got a little ahead of yourself, didn't you? False start. Flag on the plane. One night when I was 10 years old, I woke up to an awful sound. That sound was my mom screaming. She was yelling for my dad. And I sat there and I'm like, she sounds distressed. I'm going to go check this out. Because she was in the bathroom that's just on the other side of my closet wall. So I come out in the hallway, there's my dad like, go back to your room, go back to bed. What's wrong with Mom? Just go back to bed, everything's fine. It didn't fucking sound fine. It sounded like she's fucking dying, dude. And then I went back to bed, and apparently some things happened. Because the next morning, I woke up, and it was really quiet. Like, somebody died quiet. And my mom's in bed, because apparently she's sleeping off this ordeal. And my dad's downstairs giving my sister breakfast. And I come downstairs, and I'm eating breakfast, and I'm acting like nothing's wrong. And I'm like, so, what was wrong with Mom last night? Is she okay? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. Don't ask. Okay. And I took one bite of cereal. He's like, okay, so your mom got sick. I'm like, what the fuck? He just said don't ask, and he's not going to tell me. he's like, your mom got sick. I'm like, oh, okay. Wait, is that why the bathroom rug was missing? Because it was. It was conspicuously not there when I took my morning piss. And he's like, well, your mom got diarrhea. I'm like, oh. Wait, what does that have to do with the rug? Did she shit on the rug? And I was so excited for him to tell me this. He's like, well, your mom was throwing up. I'm like, what does that have to... She threw up on the rug? He's like, no. I'm like, I don't understand. And he proceeds to tell me that she was throwing up in the toilet, and when she started screaming for him to come bail her out, it's because she knew she was going to start to shit. And rather than grab the garbage can that was right next to the toilet and redirect her vomit into it, well, she sat down and began pissing out of her ass where it belonged, not on the fucking floor. She ruined a bathroom rug and a nightgown. And that was the inspiration for my song, Empty Tank. Good night.
Late one night, I was 10 years old, awakened by an awful sound. Screams for help were coming out of my poor mother's mouth. She was in the bathroom and something was going on. The panic then became muffled sounds for far too long. Out of bed, I stumbled blindly for a chance to see. Walked into the hallway to a quite confusing scene. I was promptly stopped in my tracks and sent back to bed. And then off to dreamland I went. I heard her scream, Roger, hurry, I need you, I cannot breathe. Get in here and do something, oh help me please. Oh my God, I think that I'm about to die. We're done, she cried. 8 a.m. went downstairs to the kitchen to eat and talk to Dad. But to find out what had happened, he said not to ask. I said okay and figured that was the end of that. He then pulled up for 180 on me lightning fast. Said your mom got sick last night, I figured no big deal. He paused for a moment and went into more detail. Said that she threw up and then got diarrhea too. That's when the rum's gone from the bathroom. I heard her scream, Roger, hurry, I need you, I cannot breathe. Get in here and do something, oh help me please. Oh my God, I think that I'm about to die. Tears of anguish were running down from her eyes. In the toilet, she lost everything she did. On the rug and tile floor, there shop your hate. Her nightgown and granny panties were no match for the brownie earthquake spilling from her ass. All she had to do was grab the garbage can. It was on the floor adjacent to her head. Then she could have turned that shit into the bowl. A Hershey squirt free zone should have been a goal. My poor dad had to come in, help clean it up. Chunks of feces were kicked in her raunchy muff. If you ever wanna know what true love is, try cleaning up your own spouse's puking shit.